it's very close back in the day. Um, my father, he spoke Yiddish, like that was the language of the Jewish community. So he spoke Yiddish. He grew up. He was born in Kensington Market. So he was born in Toronto, more than 100 years ago, and that was Kensington was a Jewish area. Spadina was Jewish, and so there was this kind of. I guess he spoke Yiddish, and there was a strong thing with the two communities. I did some videos for the Legal Society, and things like they didn't. Okay, if you're a Chinese, you might get into law school. Okay, you get into law school, you get your law degree, but you have to article, and no law firm would take a Chinese person in those days, but a Jewish law firm would take a Chinese person. So the first Chinese lawyers articled with Jewish law firms. And the same with my father. He was the first Chinese pharmacist in east of the Rocky Mountains. And he apprenticed with a Jewish drugstore, So there was there was this kind of, I don't know what, it's undefinable, but my father was a goy, a Sabbath goy. So that was a non-Jewish person who would go in on the Jewish Sabbath and do the things that the Jewish people weren't allowed to do on the like work. Like he would light the fire for their stoves and things like that. And that was there was, and then Jews were the first people who discovered Chinese food. So I remember I was down at my dad's store in Chinatown, and there's a Jewish holiday. I don't know much about it, but there's a Jewish holiday where people fast and then they break their fast, and that where they break the fast. Oh my goodness! We looked out the window, all the restaurants. There were huge lineups, and none of the people were Chinese. They were all Jewish, and they were lined up and to get into the Chinese restaurants so that they could eat. And I remember some of the old Chinese, the Lo Wah Q, they would say, "Oh, if it wasn't for the Jews, I would have starved to death." Like if they had a restaurant. So it's an interesting question. There was this community. I guess they were both outsiders back in those days, and they both had similar values. Like they believed in education, and they sort of the street smarts. Like my dad, he admired, he learned a lot from his Jewish friends and things like that. And they lived together in the ward, that one neighborhood where immigrants lived long ago. The Chinese and the Jews were sort of, it's an interesting question. There is some funny connection way back in those days. Just really a lot. I remember the store, they had Jewish customers, and there was this one old lady that we used to call Booby. And Booby, I think in Yiddish means grandma. And then one of the Chinese women who worked at the store, she said she was riding on the streetcar, on the Dundas streetcar going near Spadina, which was a Jewish area at the time. And then she saw this lady get on the streetcar, and she said, "Oh, hi, Booby." And the whole streetcar just erupted into laughter, because here is this Chinese person saying, "Oh, hi, grandma," to this Jewish lady. And they just thought it was really funny. And so there's a lot, it's a funny thing. Like, it's just like there was some kind of weird connection. Yeah, so I'll stop there. Sorry.
No, like it's a very interesting, like, you paint a really full picture, and I think it speaks a lot to, the importance of building relationships across cultural communities.